All right, so my next guest does fantastic research on a bunch of things, including employment. I want to bring in MacroEdge data lead analyst here, Ulysses Awsumb. First and foremost, my man, that is one of the best names I've ever heard in my life. Okay,
thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Ulysses Awsumb. You ever go on a dating site with that? You're going to break the internet. Okay.
It was a good character builder as a kid, I'll tell you that. So.
All right, let's talk about the. We had initial jobless claims out today. Yeah. That number, it was up a little bit last week, but for the most part, it is like flat line, flat line, flat line. You have your own job cuts tracker.
Correct.
And it's not a flat line.
It is not a flat line. As you can see, we're at a little over 61,000 for the month right now. And we expect through the month, we're probably going to see more. But there's two things that we're really keeping an eye on towards the end of the month. And that's going to be school's over. So how many school layoffs take effect? And then also it's peak hiring season for builders right now, at least in residential construction. With the spending having tailed off a little bit, we're anxious to see how the hiring
goes. Numbers like those housing starts numbers today, though.
Yes.
They were a disaster. I mean, maybe this won't be the robust hiring season.
So that's one of the things that we've been tracking, right? So single-family home construction has been contracting for basically 20 months now. We're building 20% less single-family houses than we were in 2022, and we haven't seen as big of a layoff in employment yet. But that's something that we're definitely keeping an eye on.
Why do you think the government initial jobless claims it just doesn't move? I've heard so many theories on that.
Yeah, boy, that's a tough one, right? There's been a lot of seasonal adjustments, but you know, we're tracking some different things. One of the things that we're tracking is the NFIB and small business hiring optimism.
Let me just highlight this for the audience, right? Because this number is starting to free fall, right? The last time this was during the pandemic. These are plans, small businesses' plans to hire. They're just not planning to hire as much as they were.
Correct. Well, like bigger companies, during earnings, they're discussing layoffs. Well, they have a footprint that they can, compress margins and get by without the lack of optimism that small businesses have. If you've got one location, you don't have the same power as the footprint where you might have multiple locations, multiple stores. So it makes a lot of sense.
How much of a canary in a coal mine is this for the overall economy?
Well, the small businesses employ the majority of the economy. So the worse this gets, the worse things could get.
All right, let's talk about things that are getting worse, and that's delinquencies. This number out today, this week rather. So we knew credit cards were really starting to explode. If you broke this down by age and income, it would be even a lot higher.
Correct.
But you say also keep an eye on mortgages right now?
Yes. So the New York Federal Reserve put out the household credits report. And for the first quarter, mortgages 30 days delinquent have increased. They're almost up to 4% delinquency rate. And then the FHA delinquency has also been going up. One of the things that we've noticed was basically skyrocketing as a percentage. It's a small number, but over 10% of FHA mortgages are delinquent due to job loss.
Really?
And so it's one of those data points that we'd like to find out why it's not meshing with the national narrative of the things doing
I got less than a
great.
minute ago. I want to get your thoughts. There's a big push out there. It's starting to bubble up, trying to get people to take home equity loans. They're saying, hey, if everyone did that, we can put $3 trillion in the economy. It wouldn't cost the taxpayers anything. And we remember that time when everyone was taking out home equity loans. It was fun until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't, exactly. And if we're already talking about people being in delinquency and delinquency rates rising, then adding more personal debt is not going to help. Much like adding more public debt the way we covered before here.
Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome, you were awesome.